I love children. I love painting children, love seeing expressions on children's faces. My work revolves around children. One day I was babysitting my nephew and my best friend's son, and they were sitting together playing. And so I said, we were looking at a Laker basketball game, Lakers versus Boston, and I said, I wonder what Magic and Bird look like as babies. And I went and got my camera, took a picture, drew the uniforms on them, and painted it. And it was called Let's Play. Some of the favorite people, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Muhammad Ali, one of my all-time favorites. I have a number of athletes, Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith. What I paint in my main medium is watercolor. I paint in watercolor, and it's a technique that is layer on top of layer. And what I do is go from light to dark. Because with watercolor, you can always go darker. You can't necessarily go lighter. If you put too much in it, it requires too much scraping and too much lifting, and you wear and tear on the paper. One of the other biggest reasons I'm here for is called His Child. And His Child is an organization that helps the children in Haiti. And about a year ago, I met a great friend, and her name was Sheila Lynch, and she had photographs of these children in Haiti. So the next day, she came with the photograph. Now I've reproduced 3 images, and so now we're selling them and getting money for the children of Haiti and helping them.
Riding to Daytona Beach for Bike Week. It's the highlight of the year for members of the Village Nomads.
Oh, it's free feeling. It's great. The air, the wind in the air. I feel like a free bird.
24 free birds on Harleys, imports, and trikes, split up into 2 groups for the 2-hour ride.
One of the great advantages of riding with a group of guys like this, they take care of you.
Camaraderie that comes in handy when something goes wrong.
On my way over, the rear box blew, the lid blew down, and all of the stuff was starting to blow out at about 70 miles an hour. And the guys behind me told me about it and stopped and helped me lock the box lid.
A few bumps along the way that were forgotten once in Daytona.
You can't not come here. That's what you do.
500,000 bikers agree, coming from all over the country for the 10-day Festival of Bikes.
Well, I wanted to see some of the newer models. I wanted to check out what's going on at the racetrack.
Die-hard bikers flipped over the racing demos and couldn't get enough of the eye-popping bikes. Some traditional, others anything but.
It's a lot of fun, and you see a lot of great bikes and people, and it's a good entertainment, good day out.
Custom bikes like this one are why many people come here. This trike we're about to test drive is probably the most expensive bike here. It retails for $300,000. Okay, let's hit the road. Let's go.
We took this crowd pleaser for a spin around the block. What a ride!
It's powered by a Bell Jet Ranger helicopter engine, which is an Allison 250. It's also coupled to an automatic transmission, just like your car.
Well, sort of.
Of course, Ebony, you do have to go to the airport to get your jet fuel.
A trip Randy Brown has to make often. It only gets 2 miles to the gallon. A memorable toy, but not something our village nomads would want to take on one of their long trips. Nevertheless, it's flashy bikes like this one, which gives Bike Week its world-class reputation. In Daytona Beach, Stephanie Galehard, VNN. For Around the Villages.
ATV's David Hamilton has the story.
In 1980, while serving as a delegate at the Republican National Convention, Dick Hatfield had an idea.
And I saw all these people with political paraphernalia, and of course I held office myself at the time, and so I became bound and determined to make a button with my face on it.
Eventually, he did have one made, but it didn't help. He lost his re-election campaign for a local office in New Jersey, but in the process, his hobby was born. Hatfield collects presidential campaign items, and over the last 24 years, he has acquired over 2,500 different pieces.
I started with just New Jersey items, and then I kind of segued into Woodrow Wilson, he having been one of our governors up there. And that led me to collect other presidents.
A majority of his collection is made up of celluloid buttons. Some have politicians' faces on them, while others have catchy campaign slogans, either for or against a candidate.
I attempted to, or have tried to get a, representation from each president and presidential candidate.
Hatfield's collection has grown so much over the years that it now takes up an entire room in his home. Scattered among the display cases full of buttons are all sorts of interesting pieces of memorabilia.
And you have, what is this? LBJ bobblehead here?
Well, I don't know. They were originally dashboard items.
With so many unique items, it's hard for Hatfield to choose a favorite. But if forced to, he said it would have to be one of his older pieces.
I have a Woodrow Wilson ribbon from 1912 that I have not seen another of.
And if you ever get to browse through his collection, you'll be thinking the same thing.
David, I noticed that Mr. Hatfield's collection, it spans both the Republican and Democratic candidates.
Yes, and actually two of the candidates that he has the most items from are Barry Goldwater and Adlai Stevenson, who we all know lost their bid for the presidential candidacy. So he's really just a big political buff.
Thanks, David. That'll wrap it up for this segment of Second Story. I'm Jessica Kiss. I'll be back next Wednesday with a whole new segment. Take care, everyone.
You're watching HTV 22, connecting you to Hillsborough County government.
Imagine Hillsborough County residents and visitors being within a few minutes of a system of greenways that can be traveled by foot, bicycle, horse, or canoe. Greenways are protected corridors of open space which connect natural, cultural, recreational, or historic resources. There are many different types of greenways scattered throughout Hillsborough County. You'll be taking a look at several of these different sites and hear from some of the trail users along the way. Greenways provide opportunities for recreation, non-motorized transportation, education, and economic development. Abandoned railroads, drainage rights-of-way, and an old bridge are examples of corridors that have been converted into safe trails here in Hillsborough County. In addition to trails, greenways also include natural corridors such as rivers and creeks. These natural greenways provide habitat for wildlife, protect water resources, and help to retain the open and green character that we enjoy today. Communities throughout the United States have experienced economic development benefits from trails. Downtown Dunedin in Pinellas County has experienced a major resurgence as a result of the Pinellas Trail. Occupancy increased from 65% in the early 1990s to 100%. An interconnected greenway system made of natural corridors and trails in Hillsborough County with connections into Pasco and Pinellas counties is envisioned for the future. In 1995, the Board of County Commissioners adopted the Hillsborough Greenways Master Plan, establishing a program to create a county-wide system of greenways. A committee made up of citizens and representatives from local government and utility companies meets several times a year to implement the plan.
Well, we're standing on the Upper Tampa Bay Trail, and this was our first big project in Hillsborough County. It's been a tremendous success. Unfortunately, it's a little bit shorter than we would have liked, and part of that's because in some cases we haven't been able to acquire the right-of-way, and that's a big issue for us at Hillsborough Trails, is acquiring that right-of-way so the folks of Hillsborough County will have a trail system that's comparable to what we see in Pinellas County. What we're working on is this idea of trying to make trails into something that's more, has a transportation element to it that makes it work better in an urban environment, and not just have a place that people need to load into their cars and drive 20 or 25 miles just to go use. This bridge itself is quite a story. There was a very big argument as to whether this bridge should remain here or whether we should replace it with a concrete structure. And we won out arguing that, this is part of the character of the trail. This is a former railroad trestle. All we did is build a deck on it, so it kind of maintains part of that connection to its railroad past. One end of the trail is a really large regional mall. And in fact, you can ride up almost to the parking lot of the regional mall on the trail. So that gives it a unique access ability that a lot of trails don't have.
The long-range vision for the Upper Tampa Bay Trail is to connect to the Suncoast Parkway Trail to provide a continuous corridor from Hillsborough north to Hernando County.
We get some business off the trail. A lot of locals that use it, bike riders, rollerbladers, runners, stop in for a drink, something to eat. I think the customers will increase when the trail expands. Right now the trail's not very long, so we don't get a lot of people traveling a long distance on it.
That's one thing I insist on. You too. Y'all have a good day.
Statistics prove that most trails don't have a problem with crime. In fact, it probably lessens the chance of crime because of abusers being there all the time. Main position we take as far as safety goes is by keeping it clean and being available on the trail as patrolling the trail.
The old Gandy Bridge recently was saved from demolition and converted into the Friendship Trail Bridge. Extending for 2.5 miles from Hillsborough to Pinellas County, it is the world's longest over-the-water bicycle pedestrian bridge. Trail users can look out over Tampa Bay while bicycling, walking, running, skating, and skateboarding. There's even a catwalk along each side for fishing. The long-range vision of the Friendship Trail project is to connect Picnic Island in Hillsborough County to Whedon Island in Pinellas County.
Oh, I love it, yes, and there's some lovely, friendly people around here. It's the best thing that ever happened.
We're also lucky to have right here in the area the longest continuous sidewalk in the United States. The 4.3-mile popular trail runs along historical Bayshore Boulevard, connecting destinations including Hyde Park and downtown Tampa.
I like to go walking, jogging, and rollerblading. It's great to have a place close to the water and close to home.
The Dover Equestrian Park is a popular horseback riding spot in East Hillsborough County. In 1999, the Dover equestrian community rallied to save the Dover Trail, and thanks to the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners, the Dover Equestrian Park will be enjoyed for many years to come. The trail is open to the public and is used by local riding clubs and businesses that conduct trail rides.
I like living next to the Dover Trail because we have access to a park that's 800 acres. We can go out and ride basically anytime we like, and I also use it for my business. Now, what we like about this particular trail is that it's 800 acres. It has areas that are wooded. It has areas that have water on it. It has areas that are open. So if people who are riding horses want to canter a little, they can canter. If they want to just stroll under the trees, they can stroll under the trees. They can go through the streams. It's just a really nice variety of terrain.
So maybe horseback riding looks like fun, but it just isn't exactly your gig. There's always mountain biking. Even though there are no mountains here in Florida, there is a great trail just for mountain biking located at the Bomboyette Scrub ELAP site in South County. This is Hillsborough County's most biologically diverse ELAP site, containing the majority of the remaining scrub and scrubby flatwoods communities in the area. Volunteers from the Southwest Association of Mountain Bike Peddlers, otherwise known as SWAMP, constructed 17 miles of off-road bicycle trails at the site. These trails are located in a portion of the site that was previously disturbed with phosphate mining.
The mountain bicycling opportunities in Hillsborough County are pretty good. We're actually pretty fortunate. We have two prime destinations, this site here and the Wilderness Parks system, which is the Trout Creek, Morris Bridge, and Flatwoods Parks. And they are destinations, regional destinations. A lot of folks from Sarasota, Manatee counties and Point South come here to ride, and also to Morris Bridge. And so, yeah, in Hillsborough County, it's not bad, but we're always looking for more sites. It's a very popular sport. The trails were created by a volunteer group, the local mountain bike club. That's the Swamp Mountain Bike Club. And it took several thousand hours of volunteer work to develop and build the trails. And now we're currently maintaining them to the tune of several hundred volunteer hours a year.
The Hillsborough River is a vital natural corridor within the Greenway system, extending from the Green Swamp and emptying into Hillsborough Bay. The Upper Hillsborough River is recognized worldwide as a significant wildlife refuge that is home to many species that cannot be found in any other place. Those who come here to kayak or canoe will see many types of birds, turtles, and alligators.
It would be hard to overstate the importance of the Hillsborough River to the area, because we have this wonderful flowing center of life that flows from the more pristine, undisturbed areas right down through the suburban areas and right down into the urban areas. So if people can get away for a little bit of time, there's a difference in the way the air moves, and they can see a lot of beautiful wildlife.
As part of ARC at the Park, or the Audubon Resource Center at Lettuce Lake Park, this group of kids spent the day canoeing down the river, learning about the importance of protecting the river, the wildlife, and their habitats.
The Tampa Audubon Society, of which I'm a member, has an outreach program called the Audubon Resource Center at Lettuce Lake Park. And through this building, through this facility, we try to teach people about riverine habitats and about nature, get them to develop an appreciation. It's sort of an outreach for people to get in touch with nature. So that's what we do. We sponsor trips like this.
It was a lot of fun, and we had so much fun. Oh my goodness. One of the alligators was like, I saw two of them. They were like this big, even bigger actually. And they both came into the water, and I was like, I don't know, 6 feet away from them. And they were probably going after a catfish or something.
I saw 10 alligators and lots and lots and lots and lots of turtles. And I saw lots and lots and lots and lots of catfish. And catfish is my nickname, so that's cool.
Although there are a lot of great greenways here in Hillsborough County, they are isolated. Our work to create an interconnected greenway system has just begun. For more information on the Hillsborough Greenways program, call 272-5920. You may also call this same number if you'd like to volunteer and get involved in the program. Get out today and visit our greenways.